Okay, for this rule, fanboys words are missing, so coordinating conjunctions are missing. Another way to think of this is that you simply have two complete sentences sitting next to each other. Now, you can use a period, but the reason we would use a semicolon instead is if the sentences directly relate to each other. So you have two complete sentences sitting next to each other. And if they directly relate to each other, instead of using a period at the end of the first sentence, we use a semicolon. So the first one in green is for the correct one. It says, she recorded the new episode of Pure Genius last night. That's a complete sentence. Her husband decided to watch it without her, which was not a wise idea. So we're still talking about the episode Pure Genius, and therefore, yes, the sentences directly relate to each other. So that means that instead of putting a period right here, we use the semicolon instead. And notice that there's a lowercase h right here. It's because any word that comes after the semicolon is not capitalized like it would with a full stop period. So this is a stop. It's telling you that the sentence ends here, but it's not a period. A period is considered to be a full stop, which is why you would have the capital letter right after it for the H. But because it's a semicolon, it's just telling you, yes, it's a complete sentence, but because they are directly related to each other, we just use the semicolon, and then that next letter is a lowercase letter. The incorrect one down here in red, it says, Tara had an Italian sub from Jimmy John's for lunch. And then we have our period. Tim is wearing the new Adidas Yeezys. Okay? The reason this one's incorrect simply just means that there's no semicolon here. So if there was a semicolon here, it would be wrong. We want to make sure that we keep the period here with that capital letter for Tim, obviously because it's a name, but then also because it's a period. We would not put the semicolon here because Tara having an Italian sub for lunch has absolutely nothing to do with Tim wearing Adidas shoes. Okay? And then just this last part right here with more examples. Okay, so number 1 says, call me tomorrow. That's a complete sentence. I will give you my answer to the question then. That's a complete sentence. We could use a period here instead of the semicolon, but we're not going to do that because the sentences are directly related to each other. 2, he went to the grocery store for peanut butter. That's a complete sentence. He got lost for hours in the candy aisle. That's another complete sentence. And then because they are directly related to each other, because both incidences have to do with him being in the grocery store and buying items, we use the semicolon instead, and then again, there's a lowercase h for he, because it's not a full stop with a period. 3, my mom grounded me for denting the car with a basketball. Complete sentence. I decided not to tell her it was my little brother who really did it. Oh, what a nice little brother, right? Okay, so again, complete sentences are directly related to each other. Therefore, we are using a semicolon instead of a period. Again, if the sentences have absolutely nothing to do with each other, if I'm talking about my dog taking a bath and then I'm talking about going to school tomorrow, they have nothing to do with one another, and therefore it would be a period instead, aside from the fact that those sentences shouldn't even be near each other anyways. All right, take a look at those. If you have any questions, let me know.